living with vitiligo knows it's not just a cosmetic issue. Joining us now to help us understand more about this condition is Mary, who has vitiligo, and board-certified dermatologist Dr. Nada Elbelik. So thank you both for joining us today. Let's start with you, doctor, though. What exactly is vitiligo?
Thanks for having us. That's a great question. So vitiligo is an autoimmune condition of the skin that basically causes for individuals who are genetically predisposed to develop white patches. And the way that happens is that the person's antibodies are attacking a skin cell called a melanocyte. Now, we all have melanocytes, but in those with vitiligo, when the melanocytes get attacked by these antibodies, they no longer function properly. And so they can't create the skin color or pigment that we all have, and that person then develops white spots in that area.
And how does that impact patients? Obviously negatively, right?
Yeah, so that's really one of the big reasons why we're partnering with Insight today to really increase education, not only about what vitiligo is, but its impact, because its impact is really profound and can't really be underestimated. So, physically about a third of people can have itching from the patches, but where we really see profound effects are on the psychological level. So mentally, emotionally, it can have a significant burden for those who are affected. And, because this can happen to anybody of any race or ethnicity at any age, it's really important, that the society knows more about it and that we really help take away the stigma that surrounds it.
Right. And Mary, let's go to you now. Can you tell us a little bit about your experience with this condition?
Of course. Thank you for having me. So I was diagnosed at the age of 8. And starting off that young, it wasn't much of an issue, right? It started off as a wound and it healed, but a white patch remained on my knee. So in that process, I didn't really think much of it. It didn't spread until I turned probably 12. And that's where I realized that it was going to be a bigger issue than it was, right?
Yeah.
So it really affected me mentally and yeah.
Yeah, and especially as a kid or a teenager and, with bullying and things like that, I'm sure, obviously it's going to mess with your mental health. And I don't know, I've never had to deal with anything like that. So thank you so much for sharing your story so we can learn a little bit more. But why is it so important to raise awareness?
Yeah, it's very important because, as you said earlier, it is a misconception that it is a cosmetic issue.
Right.
I can just cover it up with makeup, which I did try that throughout my years. And it didn't really work because I had to remove the makeup when I came home. So the mental aspect still remained. I had to look at myself in the mirror and I still had to go through bullying. And it's not an easy process to go through, right? So especially being here in Florida, it's really hot and I used to hide everything. So people, didn't really understand. I got a lot of stares. People didn't really understand what vitiligo was.
Right. Well, I'm glad we're getting out the awareness today and that you're doing well. So, doctor, where can we learn a little bit more information, though, about this autoimmune condition? I didn't know it was an autoimmune condition.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't. A lot of people have the misconception that it's a cosmetic condition. So that's one of the myths we're really trying to dispel. For those wanting to learn more, there's a wonderful website Insight's created called gettoknowvitiligo.com. So I encourage people to check out the website and learn more. The Global Vitiligo Foundation, which is another organization I work with, also has a wonderful website with lots of great content.
Okay, and Mary, before we go, what's the final takeaway that you want someone to get from this message, this interview?
Yeah, to understand that having vitiligo is a long journey. It's a long process towards acceptance. It's okay not to be okay. And for those of, who may have friends or family, to understand that, it is a long journey. Some days, some people may not respond accordingly towards, curiosity and questions and stares, but it's still okay to always ask and to be informed. And always, for those who have vitiligo, to reach out to your dermatologist, because my dermatologist helped me not only in the physical aspect, but also in the mental portion to find resources to help me through it.
Wonderful. Well, thank you both so much again for joining us today. And if you'd like to see this segment again, just head to our website, firstcoastliving.net.